Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
that's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini-games, and the most breathtaking design,
nope, not a bingo.
If your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what lessons about. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Lee Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
Before we get started with our This Week in the Lesdom, we have our friends from Shared History to tell you a bit more about their podcast.
Hi, I'm Natalie.
And I'm Cass.
And we're the hosts of Shared History,
a comedic history podcast exploring the stories of the often overlooked or underrepresented.
The people and events your history books may have glossed over, whitewashed, man-washed, or left out completely.
From the Mayan creation myth to the Deaf President Now movement of the 1980s.
From ancient scientist Avicenna to first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, Wilma Mankiller.
If you saw it in a footnote once,
or have never heard of it,
we're here to share it with you.
Join us in a rotating guest list featuring scholars, writers, teachers, entertainers, entrepreneurs, subject matter experts, and more.
Tune in to Shared History on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, you know the drill.
And follow us at Shared Pod on Instagram and Twitter.
And as always,
share you later.
This Week in the Lesdom.
This Week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. And this week, we want to remind you all that we are still running our Patreon campaign for Season 5. We have hit our first goal, so that means our Patreon-only Q&A is happening. That's going to be happening on February 23rd. So if you still want to get in and ask us all your questions, you can still get in to do our Q&A before February 23rd at bit.ly/lespatreon.
We also have some other fun things coming up, including the very first in-person trivia event that we have hosted in a long time. We canceled our last in-person trivia event in March of 2020. So listen, almost 2 full years. It's exciting. And we are kicking it off with an event I'm sad to be missing. It is Valentine's Day Queer Trivia. We are going to be talking about all of our favorite queer ships and asking all of the questions about them. So please do not miss out. It is going to be in Boston at Turtle Swamp Brewery on February 17th from 7 to 9 Eastern. You'll want to get there a little early. Trivia starts at 7, so probably get there at like 6:30. You all know how Rebecca is. Got to be on time.
You
got
to
start.
She will start right at 7. You know it.
Yep. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited it's happening even if I won't be there.
Me too. Also, we are starting our crowdfunding campaign for Journey to the Heart, which is our second musical. We'll be starting that in the end of March, beginning of April, and we need your help. So we're trying to prep as much as we can for that. If you want to join our team, we're looking for people to help spread the word, send emails, send messages, and also if you have any other relevant skills, we would love to know that as well. We've had some people offer graphic design skills. If you can help edit TikTok videos, anything you can help us with will make a big difference. We are trying to take a little bit off of the shoulders of the four of us, our core production team, as we are writing and creating the musical. So if you want to help us with that, you can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
In the greater Les universe, Be Still, My Gay Heart. Right over my shoulder, listeners, behind me on the wall is one of my beautiful gay pieces of art of Gentleman Jack, Anne and Anne. And soon I will have them back on my screen once again. At last, finally, season 2 is coming up. I think we're getting a trailer soon, right?
Oh, yeah, but we've gotten just like, we know it's coming.
We know it's coming.
10 years later.
I've been waiting for so long, and I'm excited. That's all. I'm excited for season 2 of Gentleman Jack. As much as Ellie and I talk all the time about how we're like over our 1800s gays, I'm not actually. I lied. I want Gentleman Jack season 2. Give it to me now, please, and thank you.
These particular gays we're here for.
Yeah.
Also, Jana's cat is aggressively humping his bed right now. I don't know if people can hear it, but it's like, it's like very, very loud.
He's just excited about Gentleman Jack. That's all.
Yeah. And I just felt like it was really fitting, like for a lesbian podcast, for you to know that there's a cat in the back screaming. You know?
Great.
So in the greater Les universe, there is a cat screaming. Also, Janet Jackson and Alicia Keys have been flirting online, which we are all here for. Started with Janet Jackson, who was asked by E! Online who she would have a lesbian relationship with, and she said she would pick Alicia Keys. I think she's wonderful. And Alicia Keys came back and was like, I think you're wonderful too, Janet. So, I mean, would we be down for these two incredible musicians to start a beautiful lesbian relationship? Yes.
Always
yes.
Is the answer. Yes.
Thank you for letting us experience that whole online flirting with you, Janet and Alicia.
Incredible. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome to our 77th installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, we just hope everyone finds their happy ending.
Oh, I wish that our two lesbian lovers that we're going to talk about today had their happy ending, but
don't we always?
We will talk about it. And we are so happy to be joined by two very special guests. We have Lily Brown with us. Lily Brown is a reality TV story producer, but is best known as a lesbian TikToker, as well as one of the creators of Queer Field Day, a popular queer event in Los Angeles. Hi, Lily.
Hey, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good. We're so happy to have you here. And we have Kayleen here as well. Kayleen Casey is a lesbian actor and dancer in Los Angeles and also a co-founder of Queer Field Day. Hey, Kayleen.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have both of you here because we're going to talk about Swanqueen, everyone's favorite ship.
I feel like all of our listeners probably just did like a collective gasp. In, like, it's finally happening.
I'm pretty sure people have been waiting for this one for a long time.
One?
Yes. It's because, and we'll tell you why. Yeah,
we will tell you why. We will tell you why. The reason why is everyone always asks us like some of the really popular ships that we haven't done yet, and everyone's like, "How have you not done this? How is it that it's season 5? Like, how have you not done it?" And we're like, we have to save some of the good ones for later, you know? It's like you don't just want like season 1, all the top stuff, the ones everyone cares about, and then it's like season 5 and you're like, here's a mysterious movie that like Amazon made in 2012 that nobody's watched, and like someone thinks someone should have been gay on there. Like nobody wants that.
Yeah. We got to space out the hits.
For sure.
And plus,
here's a VHS I found in my grandparents' basement that I think was pretty gay, everyone. No one wants that.
Do we have any of those? Or
I bet we do.
I'm sure you could find plenty.
Oh, yeah. And they keep, even though there is more like actual gay content now, which like that's what sucks is you're like, I wanted this to be a Should Have Been Gay, and then they put a gay character in it. And you're like, well, now we can't do Should Have Been Gay.
Yeah, how dare they?
How dare you?
I mean, it should have all been gay. You could have just changed it to that.
Yeah. We have done some Should Have Been Gayers.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it always should have been gayer, even when it's gay.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, Once Upon a Time did have some gay characters. We'll get into that. So we're definitely a Should Have Been Gayer for this as well.
But I think you're right, Ellie. Is it homophobic when shows put a gay character in? That's the question that we really want to.
Because they won't let us do a Should Have Been Gay. That's what you're saying. And all of these TV shows, like they're like,
is it a hate crime?
ABC's like, we shouldn't make them gay because we want Ellie and Lee to talk about it. Like that's why they did it. Yeah, I know.
Maybe.
All right, let's dive in. We said we would be more streamlined at the beginning, and it's already gone off the rails. It's fine.
We're doing great.
So let's go to our IMDb synopsis. You want to read our IMDb synopsis for us, Lee?
I do want to always read our IMDb synopsis. The IMDb synopsis for Once Upon a Time is as follows. A young woman with a troubled past is drawn to a small town in Maine where fairy tales are to be believed.
Okay. I mean,
Sure.
It's a solid synopsis, but I think we can do better. So I'm ready for our gay synopses. How about Lily? Do you want to kick us off with your gay synopsis?
Sure.
I'm excited.
A young woman finds out that her son has found her. And so she goes to find his town where he lives now. And she knocks on the door of the woman who adopted her son. And she finds the most beautiful woman she's ever seen. And she realizes, this could be my wife. We already have a son together. We have so much going for us. She might hate me, but enemies to lovers is a lesbian trope, so I plan to make it real. That's what Emma Swan thought. When you think about this show, the plot is literally made for them to be lovers. Like, if you imagine that Emma Swan is a man, she goes and does the exact same thing she did and went and found her son and the adoptive mother. Like, he would have fallen in love with her.
Yep.
It's just like, come on, it's a perfect plot line.
It's like the Parent Trap vibes, like it's legit. They should be together. We know this.
Yeah. I also feel like that Parent Trap was literally my gay synopsis. Oh, now I have to write another one.
All right, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Lee, it's okay.
Fine. It's fine.
You can still say it.
Steal my thunder.
Was it just the words Parent Trap?
Yeah, my gay synopsis was the Parent Trap. No. But I do, before we hear more gay synopses, I just want to really commend Lily that excellent pause. Just what a good pause. Use of a really nice, just good time. I like it.
It was read very well, yes.
Right?
Thank you.
Lily's really good at that.
It was like just the right amount of time for like.
You have to when you do the edit, you have to put some like trailer type of music. Please.
Yes.
Oh my god.
A young woman. Yeah.
Finds out.
Yeah, I see it. I hear it. It's perfect. Well, Kayleen, what's your gay synopsis?
Okay, my gay synopsis. So we come in on Emma Swan, the gayest woman you've ever seen in your life. She's wielding a leather jacket. She's beating up men immediately. She's a badass woman. And she makes a secret little wish that nobody knows of. In my version, she's making that wish for her lesbian lover. And God, does this show come through? Because she pulls up to the hottest woman you have ever seen in your life. She is hot. She's mean. She's a witch. It's everything you could ever want. And she wished for that. And you cannot convince me otherwise. She did not wish
That's so true.
for anything else but a hot lesbian lover.
Wow. To co-parent her son, I feel like that
Absolutely.
was right, and there we are. Because my synopsis is a little short, but enemies to lovers to co-parents. Regina and Emma have the greatest magic of all: true love.
Wow.
Shit.
Ow. My heart.
And they do.
That's it.
Because throughout the series, they're using magic together, and that's the strongest kind.
Exactly. Like they literally,
As we all know from Buffy already, yes.
exactly.
Right.
And magic is always a metaphor for queer sex.
I love that.
100%.
That's
love
it.
that.
I mean, to be fair, all of the women in my life that say they're witches are gay.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Do you have any other people in your life who are not gay though?
That's a really good point. I actually do have some straight friends.
Okay.
Interesting.
And they're not witches.
I used to have more straight friends, but then they realized they're bi.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of queers in my life.
Being around
That
gays will
sounds
do that
very
to you.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to go into our third year running of like, because it's a new year now. I feel like we're going to hit the ground running with like, name a straight person 2022 challenge. You can't do it.
You can't.
You can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Hey,
don't
you just gave me a TikTok idea. Good one.
You
Yes.
can have it. I'll let you have it. That's fine.
Wait, Lee, what's your synopsis?
I was going to try to write another one, but let's be real. This is another episode. This is another Should Have Been Gay installment of Lee's going to have opinions on a show she's never watched. So I don't know how to write another. I don't know how to write another gay synopsis for this show. My gay synopsis was Henry Mills tries to parent trap his two moms into their own happy ending together. That's literally all I know. That's the only thing I know about this show. Basically, is that. So
that's the story that I see, really.
Yeah.
That's
even
the
if you
story, and we're sticking to it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, imagine I'm sorry, but imagine knocking on a door to find the mother, the adoptive mother of the boy that you birthed, and it's Lana Parrilla. I'm sorry. You can't not fall in love.
I think more importantly, Lily, how often have you imagined this scenario?
I'm literally sweating thinking about it.
It is so true. Like, I think the actresses also make it so much more intense. Like Lana in general.
Oh,
also,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's down. Like, she has said, Swanqueen, she would be down for it.
Oh,
she
the actress totally ships Swanqueen. She absolutely does. She tweeted about it all the time back in the day.
Is she to Swanqueen what Katie McGrath is to Supercorp? Is that is that the relationship here? Okay, I'm here.
I would say, yeah.
I can see that. Okay, wait. Before we dive in, can we start with? I want to hear everyone's experience because obviously we just covered mine. I've never seen the show. I think I've seen maybe the first episode a long time ago. Because when did Once Upon a Time come out?
I think 2013,
a decade ago.
Something like 2012.
I was going to say 2011. Should we make a bet?
Yeah, I bet you're right, Kayleen.
Okay,
Kayleen
wait.
knows.
2011. The answer is 2011.
Shoot, you're right, Kayleen. Of course.
Okay, so I'm curious. I've never
What do
really
we
seen
owe
the
her?
show. I want to know everyone else's experience with Once Upon a Time. So, Kayleen, you seem real on top of it. Let's start with you.
Once Upon a Time was my gay awakening, I would say.
Oh, I love that.
It's a tie between that and just generally Helena Bonham Carter as a person. But I was so into Once Upon a Time when it came out. Someone that I don't enjoy told me to watch it, and so I really wanted to hate it, but it was impossible to hate because it was so freaking good. The first 2 seasons are perfect television all the way through, and you can't argue with me. It's an incredible show. All of the women are incredibly hot. Even the men are hot, and I'm a lesbian, and that was very confusing for me for quite some time. So
Hook is very
it's because they have bi-wife energy.
Yeah,
True.
Hook wears eyeliner.
And the eyeliner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, wait. I'm sorry, but I have to ask. So 2011, this is your gay awakening, and this was what, high school, college? What are we talking?
I was oh my God, I was 13 or 14 or something like that. Maybe a little older. I don't know. I was young.
And,
so
was it Emma? Was it Regina?
Oh my God.
Was it just their
It was
undeniable
absolutely
chemistry?
Regina. It was Lana Parrilla in general. I had a fan account, you guys. I had my Tumblr was Once Upon a Hellenist.
Oh my God.
And I was into it. Live tweeted every time a new episode came out. I was deeply invested. I had no idea I was gay. I was listen, I'm not gay, but I would absolutely let Lana Parrilla inside of me. I was but that doesn't make me gay. She's undeniably attractive. We all agree. So.
And how did you figure
that comment's going to take me out for the night. Okay, we're done
When did
here.
you figure out that not everybody agreed and then in fact you were gay?
Way later. It was American Horror Story later. Because everyone agreed. That was the issue, is we all agreed that anybody would have sex with Lana Parrilla. So it's very confusing. But all my friends are bi now, so.
Listen, I'm going to say
were
this
agreeing
is
with other queer people.
That story is me with Gabrielle and Xena. So it's fine. It's a tale as old as time. We've all been there.
For
you
sure.
know?
True,
okay,
for
Lily,
sure.
what about you? What's your experience with Once Upon a
So
Time?
I was in college, so it must have been around 2013, and my first girlfriend actually told me Once Upon a Time is really good. And I was okay, I'll check it out. So I started a little later, but I caught up. I watched the first 3 seasons and I was just holy shit, this show's so good. To be honest, that was around the time when I started getting into like queer ships in general. So when I first watched it, I just didn't think of it. I didn't think of like the WLW shipness of it until, I come across it on whatever it was on the internet. And now that I look at it, I'm like, holy shit. It's super gay. Super gay. So I watched the first 3 seasons, and I think after season 3 was when a lot of people sort of fell off after the Neverland season and Frozen started. So I never fully finished the series, but I watched a lot of YouTube videos and read some articles just to find out what ends up happening and everything. And gosh, Emma really sacrifices a lot to save Regina, and vice versa multiple times in this series. It's basically them versus everything. So it's pretty darn gay.
It is.
Amazing.
It really is.
Ellie, round us out.
All right. Well, I feel like I had a very similar experience to Lily. I was in college when it came out, and I remember me and my roommate at the time were like obsessed with the first season. Like every time the new episode would come up, we'd be so excited to watch it. And I do feel like I agree with you. The first season, at least for me in particular, like perfect television. Yeah. It was like just so good. Like I don't know what it is about it. It's just like it was perfectly done. It just was.
Every single episode blew my mind, like completely out of the water.
Yes. And
I
think
there was a new twist every single episode, and the way that the whole arc of the first season was just so perfectly timed. Like the writing is incredible, which is obvious because the writers did Lost. Like they knew what they were doing with the timelines and the whole situation. Like just.
But then I think it just got to too many seasons and they lost the thread.
Yeah.
But like the first season in particular was like one of my favorite seasons of television like ever.
Same.
Me too.
Yeah.
We got my dad to watch it.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was obsessed.
It's so good. But I agree. I didn't really see the gay in it.
Yeah, I didn't at the time, but I will say that the entire time I never believed Emma's relationships with men.
Yeah, why would you?
I wasn't necessarily like, oh, Emma and Regina forever, but I was definitely like, really? Like Emma just doesn't seem like she would be into that,
She doesn't because she's gay.
She's never into it.
She's so queer coded, like the like.
That's just the
resting
outfits.
Yeah,
the outfits.
The leather jacket, the vintage bug, like please.
Yeah,
the lesbian boots. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one thing I was talking to my girlfriend about this podcast and the show, and of course she watched the whole thing start to finish. And one comment she made, which was so true, is that Emma's main love interest, Hook, has major bi-wife energy.
Yep.
I mean,
I feel like they're both bi. Like Hook is bi. I would undeniably think that Hook is bi.
Believe it. Mm-hmm.
Like he's so like just like into himself, and like I could see him out at a gay club, just like dancing on a fucking like in a cage, and being like, "Look at me, boys!" Like that's Hook,
Definitely.
So Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's too much. I also want to say there's a few things that I did in my research for this, which is that on AO3, Swanqueen is the #1 femme/slash from 2014 to 2019.
Wow.
So for 5 years running, they're the #1. Okay.
That's incredible.
And last year, they were #2, and Supercorp was #1. So they were dethroned by Supercorp last year, but like for 5 years.
That's
this is
impressive.
Like the top ship.
Well, and listen, that is fascinating to me because I'm going to say again, as someone who has never seen the show, the only things that I know about Once Upon a Time are similar to the only things that I know about Supercorp because I've also never watched Supergirl. I think, Lily, that you said it, that like if this was a character who was a male character, everything is written as though this is going to be a romantic relationship. And that is something that I think is also true for Supercorp. Like the queer baiting in these shows is off the charts, like off the charts. Like when we talk about queer baiting as a term that kind of gets tossed around now these days, that gets misused wildly by the queer community, where you have like, you know, like little queer teens who are like, the characters that I like aren't doing exactly what I want them to do. Stop queer baiting me. And we're like, that's not what it means. This is what it means. Like this show, like Supergirl, Once Upon a Time, like these shows, this is queer baiting, where you're like, this is a romantic storyline. Like everyone sees that, right? Like you're writing a relationship that is a romantic one between these characters, and then just being like, no, it's not. That's queer baiting.
I will say that watching some of these scenes, like, I love Supercorp too. I ship them for sure. Some of their scenes, like for example, when something good happens to one of them that like involves a man, like the other one, like you can clearly see that they're like really jealous and stuff. Like I'm like, that's on purpose. But when I rewatched one of the scenes where Emma tells Regina that she's engaged, and Regina actually seems genuinely pleased. Like I didn't feel like, oh, like there was any type of jealousy. Like, so for that, I was like, okay, that seems like they're not
what
trying to
season
queer
was
bait us
that?
with that.
I was gonna say.
I actually took notes. What season was that?
Because that had to be a later season, right? Kayleen, you're our expert. What is it?
No,
What
that
season
was
was that?
later. And she already had her reaction about Hook coming back when Robin didn't. Like there was this whole thing that they thought that they lost both of their like lovers in hell at the same time. Then they came back, but Hook got to come back. I forget what he like did something good, and so he got to come back, and telling like nobody told Regina because they thought she was going to pop off. And then Regina found out and she popped off because she should have, because that's rude. But that was what that was. I don't think they could have done it again when she was engaged.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the evolution of their relationship of like, at a certain point, Regina was like, all right, I guess we're not getting together. So I'm happy for you. It's fine.
Yeah. She had to move on.
I have to move on, I guess.
They would have been a major top for top couple.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so many there are so many scenes where you're just like, there's no heterosexual explanation for what's happening right now, right?
For
and like
sure.
That's always the thing that stands out to me. But that's why my point is, I love that they were surpassed only by Supercorp, because I feel like there's a lot of similarities, I think, in terms of the discussions we're going to have about the ships and why people ship them. That's all.
Yeah.
Because there's no straight reason for it.
I have a question for Kayleen and Lily. But as I was reading more about it, there's like this almost kiss scene. Do you remember like what they call the almost kiss scene? It's like
in which one? Supercorp or?
I think it's in season 1. Yeah.
Okay, people.
What do you think about it?
They'd love to Photoshop this picture still to this day. It's like when Henry is down in the mine in the like underneath thing.
Is it the one where she steps in super close, like for no reason, in a way that like I mean, listen, I also have A, straight friends, and B, like friends who are like women that I am just friends with and not romantically attracted to, that like I've never felt the need to like suddenly have an intense conversation with them and to like bring my face within 3 inches of their face. Like, is that just me? I don't know.
I do it all the
time. Is that scene? That's the scene we're talking about?
I'm pretty sure that's the scene we're all talking about.
Okay.
That scene
please continue.
That scene was deeply gay, but I also think that they've talked about how this was like a camera angle situation. I think that they've commented on it because Swanqueen fans popped off so much, being like, this was gay, explain yourselves. And they said camera angles, but also...
Yeah, sure.
I just feel like Lana Parrilla brought way too much gay to that role, as she does to every role. I think that she's just the kind of person that's like, no, this will play better if I'm kissing distance from you, trust me. And you should always trust Lana Parrilla.
Agreed. What were some other gay moments you found, Lily, when you were looking at all of these like YouTube compilations?
Yeah, gosh. I mean, I have like I wrote some quotes down.
Yes, let's hear them.
Well, they always had these awkward endings after like saving the world. I just noticed this while watching several, moments where they save the world and they like don't know what to do. Like, do we hug? Like, do we pat each other's shoulder? Like, I'm like, come on.
And what do they end up doing? Nothing.
They like pat each other's shoulder, like maybe. Like, I don't know. So Regina says, Emma, wait. I don't want to kill you. And then there's another quote. She says, you thought we were friends? But it's like, there's another quote where Emma says something like, my happy ending isn't a man. And it's like, you could have said, you're like, that's pretty, I mean, obviously we would understand that a different way, but.
Yes.
I want that on a shirt, honestly. Can I does that exist?
And then
I want
also, Emma makes a promise to Regina to give her a happy ending.
Yeah. What does that mean? What do we think? Okay, so what do we think Emma envisions as Regina's happy ending?
Sorry,
I mean, I don't think you can include our answers if we said them.
Sam.
Wait, so what you're saying is when Emma sits down and pictures Regina having a happy ending, what does that look like?
What does it look like? Yeah.
So we're asking right
Someone
now.
draw the picture for me.
I gotta go with
Oh, I'm sure AO3 has the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
There's
fan
definitely
art
fan
somewhere
art for
of what
that.
looks like. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
It is.
Oh, and just like, okay, also little moments I noticed. Like, for example, Emma brings Regina lunch and she like knows exactly what she likes.
That lunch scene wrecked me. She brings 2 root beers and she brings her a kale salad.
Yes, I'm like, kale salad. Lesbians eat kale salad.
Kale salad
love
is
kale.
Gay culture. Gay culture.
Oh my god.
But like literally, and they are teasing each other in that scene too, right? Like where she's like, I brought you a kale salad because I know you don't like the grilled cheese like me. And she's like, you eat like a child. And we're like, what is happening here? Like it's very sexually charged lunch.
Yeah. Oh, it was Regina who said my happy ending isn't a man, not Emma.
Wait, I forgot too. Regina also says, what? You think I can open this bottle with my teeth?
Yes, she did say that.
Like maybe.
Like how many times have we seen like a lesbian try to impress someone else be like, I can open this with my teeth? Like I've seen it.
I've seen it too many times. Scares me every time. I'm like, please don't.
Stop. Like don't hurt yourself. Yeah. That scene, I could probably write a whole thesis on that scene because that
Emma also saves Regina from a fire. That was hot.
I mean,
in
Emma,
a lot of ways.
But yeah,
Emma
nailed
takes
that.
the
Nailed that one.
Regina's being swarmed by the darkness, and Emma's like, "I'll take it." She's like trying to get the darkness to take her, and Regina's like, "No, don't do it." It's just like,
how many times throughout the series did Emma save Regina?
Oh, somebody's got to have a tally on that.
I wish you put, I wish during your last rewatch, Kaylee,
you were like
just keeping score, taking notes.
Yeah.
Tumblr. Someone on Tumblr knows. Someone has a Tumblr devoted
For
to
sure.
just those scenes.
For sure.
But we know it's a lot.
Also, let's talk about how many times Henry like talks about his moms. He's like, "Oh yeah, my mom's like, where's my other mom?"
Listen, that's the representation my kids need in this world, you know?
Yeah.
It's just...
And it is
2
like
moms
such
raising their kid.
Yeah, it is such a queer storyline of like adoptive mom and like biological mom, and they're like dealing with all the different feelings that they have about it. And it would just be so much better if they could just deal with that together.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Kayleen, do they have a lot of because I feel like I have only seen them like really fighting when I was watching like the first few seasons. In the later seasons, so they have more like touching co-parenting moments.
Yeah, they're like very sweet to each other later, and Emma finally gets on board with Regina being the one to protect Henry when something scary happens. So for the later seasons, it's always like something bad's happening. Regina, you've got to take Henry. You've got to keep our kids safe. Like it's that kind of vibe every time something crazy happens. It's deeply romantic.
It also like ends up being Regina and Emma versus the evil queen.
Yeah, well,
like,
and then the evil queen, because Regina's character gets like split in half, Jekyll and Hyde style, and so then she has the evil queen side, and then the like Regina nice side, and then obviously they sort that out because it's Once Upon a Time without killing anyone, and so the evil queen gets like a little bit of niceness so that she figures out how to be nice, and Henry's like, now I have 3 moms.
Oh my god.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed, just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/letshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/letshangout.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Wow.
Okay, now sorry, but just to bring Buffy into the mix again, like, remember the episode where Xander gets split into like 2 Xanders, and then Anya's like, maybe we could just leave them like that a little bit. Like, do we think that that is also something that like crossed Emma's mind? She's like, 2 Reginas for the price of 1. Like, maybe just like we'll fix it tomorrow and we'll take a night, you know, just
Yeah.
have a time of it, see what
Hey.
happens.
Lana Parrilla really brings
Maybe.
out some shit in all four of us. Like, we're all just like thought
Like
bubbling.
Yeah.
Lily's like, I have a new scenario to play out in my head, and I got to go for a minute.
God
I
damn
was
you, Lana.
so
Regina,
floored
God.
when that happened because I hadn't made it that far. It happens in like season 5 or 6 or something. And I was just rewatching a couple months ago and finally got there. And I was like, oh my God, you guys, stop the presses. There's 2 Lana Parias. I had no
Too
idea.
much to
No one
handle.
told me.
Yeah, honestly, it's
I
too
actually
much.
remember the day that like I got on Instagram and like followed Lana Parrilla and like saw her like dating or married to a man. And I was like legitimately sad about it.
It's always
Like
disappointing.
why does that
you know?
always happen? Like it's disappointing, but it's like I knew we were never gonna happen, you know?
She's
But
just like
still,
so gay,
Did
though.
you know that?
I didn't for sure. I didn't for sure know that.
Do you still know that? You never know.
You know what is something because let's see. So Regina's character actually reminds me a little bit of Bet Porter from the L Word.
Ooh,
Because
wow.
right? Like they're
Amazing.
both like very stern, like they know what they want, they can stick to it. They like almost wear the same outfits. And
Yes.
and Regina's the mayor and Bet Porter was running for mayor.
Oh my
I'm
God.
having a
stop it.
crisis.
Oh my God. What is happening?
It's too real.
And Bet Porter has these like sides of herself where she knows she's like manipulative, controlling, trying to like undo that for herself and like having these like yin and yang sides of herself. I'm like, I see a similarity here.
This conversation's too much for me. I'm gonna explode.
Well, I know how much you love Bet
You
Porter.
know how I feel
Kayleen.
about Bet. You know how I feel about Regina.
It
Need
makes
to, like,
sense.
wrap my head around this.
This also
Makes
further
sense.
confirms it because
Mhm.
Kayleen's in love with both of them.
Deeply in love.
So therefore, makes sense.
Oh no.
I also when I was reading about the evil queen stuff, I also was thinking about it like there's this whole thing where like they sort of combine together, right? And it's like a moment where Regina's like, I finally accept all the parts of myself kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a queer allegory if I've ever seen one, right?
Mhm.
She's like, I've been fighting for however many seasons against this part of me that I feel like is bad and like quote unquote, let's say bad is gay, even though I disagree with that statement. But like, and then she's like, all right, now I can like really appreciate every part of myself.
Mhm.
And then I feel like that's her gay awakening.
When she was doing that speech in the show, my wife and I went, that was pretty gay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we paused it and rewound it and went, okay.
Yep. And correct me if I'm wrong, Regina like never has a male love interest or has them, but like by the end she's single, right?
She is, yeah, at the end she is single. Yes. She's
I always
single.
thought it was strange. Like she let her lover from like her very first love. She had the chance to get him back and she didn't. Do you remember that?
She totally did. He just was a spooky zombie.
I can't remember. Like I feel like I remember that.
What's happening?
I remember being
I
like,
love it
why
so
didn't
much.
she take this opportunity? She could have figured it out.
It was, yeah. Well, it was season 2. She kept the body of her dead lover and brought it to Storybrooke with her. And then finally, when everybody was awake from the curse, she went to Dr. Whale. And he's supposed to be Frankenstein. And so he had his whole backstory of trying to like get him awake. And he was like, I did it. But then he was a spooky zombie monster, was trying to kill everybody. And he was in a lot of pain. So she had to crush his heart. It was very upsetting.
She did so much heart crushing, so much like lesbians do this.
Speaking from experience there, Lily.
Yeah.
Oh, Regina crushed my heart. She didn't have to touch it.
Yeah.
She didn't even have to touch it.
Oh, yeah. The similarity between like Regina accepting her whole self being so queer because like Regina has this evil side of her and like at least for me like it's kind of dark but to say but like I really felt like that gay side of myself was like just evil. Like not necessarily but like that was the part that like really sucked and it was like and then finally when I had to embrace it and finally did embrace it, it was like, oh, it's not so bad.
It's not so
It's not so
bad.
bad. It's actually kind of great.
Says professional
Arousing
lesbian
endorsement.
Lily Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Mine was like Harry Potter. It was like, you're a wizard, Harry. And I was like, thank God. Get me out of here.
Get me out of this cupboard.
Well, you came out pretty early. Like, you were like 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Lucky.
thank God for Once Upon a Time.
Thank
Helped
God
you
for Once
figure
Upon
it
a
out.
Time. Thank God for American Horror Story. Thank God for all the gays in general, the gay women that dragged me right out of the closet, showed me what's what.
Wait, how old were you when you came out, Lily?
To myself, I was 19. I think like to the rest of the world, I was maybe like 20, something like 21 maybe.
Wow, I mean, so just elderly, essentially.
Yeah. I was
Still.
basically a grandma.
I also came out at 21. College,
No, actually, that's
college
pretty
when
early.
you're trying to like figure out if you're gay or not can be pretty tough,
Yeah.
but also great.
Yeah.
But-
But it was weird because so many people are like, oh, yeah, I came out at 19, but I knew when I was like 7. I was like, I didn't know till I was 19. But actually looking back,
Yeah.
I definitely always find moments, and I still remember them to this day. Like something will come back to me and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that gay thought that I managed to push down.
Oh,
You know,
a
when
lot
I
of
was
things
8.
make sense in hindsight.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
for sure.
Still trying to pull them back out.
Yep.
So
I get that. Mine was, I'm like, we don't need to talk about coming out stories, but mine was sort of similar to yours, Lily. Like where I was like, yeah, I like when I figured it out, I was like, oh, fuck. But I was like, I never thought about this before. And then I was like, oh, yeah, you did. You know, like,
oh yeah, why was I so obsessed with
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy, Catalina, Arizona?
Yep.
You know, that's why.
That's why. It's okay.
Mhm.
All right, but back to our other gays.
Yes.
We could talk about our own gays forever. So, what else do we have about them being gay together? What are some other moments that really stand out?
I want someone to tell me about the doing magic together, because I have seen that clip and those gifs so many times where Emma's like, let's try it again together, and they have
And then
that
she
whole,
touches
like,
her and it's like, bam!
Willow and Tara like slamming the like vending machine against the door. Like they have that moment, but with like sparky like magic stuff. What is the deal here? What's happening? Why are they doing this magic together? And why is it always so clearly a metaphor for having gay sex? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Let's do
So
it.
there's some like spooky bad magic that's coming at the town, and they're trying to get everybody out of the town, but somebody like stole their way out of town. So they're like, we can't do it, or it's not going to happen in time. And they're trying to get as many people out of the town as possible. But then one of them is trying to like hold back the magic. And then the other one is like, no, it'll be stronger if we do it together. And it's like, but we'll both die. And so they like sacrifice
Henry
their
will
life
have
to like
0
try to do it
moms.
together. And then they do like break off the curse, and then everything's fine.
And they do that many
Yeah.
times, right?
Yeah.
I watched this YouTube
Oh, yeah.
video that was like, I love like there's like so many what's it called, Swanqueen crack videos,
Yeah.
and like they're just edited so like I don't know. So it was like that's where I got like the true love is the greatest magic or whatever. Like Rumpelstiltskin says it, and then it goes to like bing, 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 and it was like 7 times together. They like made their magic go like fucking crazy. And I was like, this is so gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So gay.
They're very magical together.
Wasn't like the first time that Emma discovered her magic because of Regina?
Yeah, well, Regina trained her. There was a scene where Regina's like, I'm gonna, let you sink or swim, and this is the best way to learn.
With
and
the
she
bridge.
she puts her on a bridge and like starts to destroy the bridge, and Emma's like starting to fall and like can't figure out what to do, and she's hanging on, and like she falls. Well, first of all, I would say also Regina has this face that's like, oh no,
She's like,
what did I
just
do?
killed
She's
the
like, I
savior.
killed her.
Oh no. And Emma ends up like flying back up almost like Supergirl does, on like a piece of the bridge, and she's like, holy shit, like I did it. So yeah, I mean Regina is the one who like knows Emma's got this and trains her to use her magic.
So like gaydar, like she can like see it in her.
Yeah, she's like, you've got
Yeah.
it somewhere
Okay.
in there. Yeah.
She's
I mean,
like,
heck, a
something's
girl-
pinging for me. I'm just gonna like toss you off a bridge. Got it.
Yeah.
There's
I'm trying
another
to remember the first time she uses magic. I don't know why I can't. I remember when Regina finds out that Emma used magic because she says something like, oh, well, you can't do it. I'm the only one. And then she's like, oh, well, how did you do that? And Snow is like, Emma used magic.
She's like, I thought I was the only lesbian in the town.
She sure did.
God damn it.
With those vests.
Wait, sorry. Can we take like a real hot, like, quick should have been gay shout out to Snow White's cute little pixie haircut? Because, like,
Aww.
I have to. Come on.
Yeah.
But, like, come on.
I do feel like for me,
their hair was short.
Snow White was like Jennifer Goodwin's like one of the like most beautiful women in the world. Like I remember when I was watching Once Upon a Time, I kept like going on and on about how like beautiful she is and blah blah blah. And this was before I was gay, so maybe it was my gay awakening too, but just not with Lana.
She's so sweet, and actually, I feel like Jennifer Goodwin's character Mary Margaret totally shipped the gays. And we know it's true because when in season 5, when Ruby realizes Ruby doesn't even realize that she's in love with Dorothy. Mary Margaret's the one who is like, Ruby, I feel like you're in love with Dorothy. You could go give her a good kiss. Wake her up.
Give her a good one.
She's like, maybe this is finally going to happen for this series. Because, yeah, I mean, actually, so when I think of Once Upon a Time, I feel like it's the most tangible evidence of acceptance of queer people and characters because it starts out so small. In our first like canon queer character in the show, Mulan, season 3, she very subtly says that she's in love with Aurora. And then finally, nothing happens with anything. Then season 5 is when Ruby has her episode where all of season 5, she's trying to figure out why she doesn't fit in, and she feels like she needs to find her pack, the gays.
Gay.
Yeah.
Wait, I also forgot about Ruby because that's another
Dorothy.
one that I was like, holy fuck, she's so hot.
Yeah.
Everyone in this show is
Ellie, was this
just
show actually
so
your gay awakening?
It's quite possible.
And then she actually they have their one big episode. Ruby and Dorothy fall in love and they save each other and everything. And then basically Ruby doesn't come back for a long time. And then finally, season 7, we have a whole queer storyline. So it's like, with Tower Girl and Robin. I did watch all of their scenes.
Yeah, with Alice and Robin, it's so cute. Nobody even told me about this. I got to it and I was like, well, that's a gay. And she absolutely was a gay. And they were super gay together.
Wait, so what happens in the actual gay storyline in the season 7? What happens with it?
Well, they have a new curse going on. And nobody remembers who they are. And so there's Alice, and then there's Robin, who is Zelina and Robin's kid. They named Robin after Robin died. So they show like past scenes of them falling in love in the Enchanted Forest. And so we get little baby gays falling in love, rescuing each other, like the whole cute stuff. And then they have them kind of like, sorry, there are dogs. They have them like clearly falling in love again and having a very immediate kinship in the like human world that's very cute. And then they find out that they're together and they're gonna like have a wedding, and Robin asks Hook, there's a different Hook later because there's like a split storyline. Listen, this show's crazy, but there's another Hook, and it's Hook's kid is Alice. And so Robin goes and asks other Hook if she can have Alice's hand in marriage. It's so cute and so baby gay of them.
And then when that moment where they remember that they were in love and like who they are and everything, and they kiss, I was like,
so cute.
Look how far we've come since Mulan briefly mentioned she was into Aurora to one episode that we got, and then we got a whole storyline in the last season. I was like,
yeah, that was also Regina's gayest season by far. She was wearing bandanas and leather jackets, and she was a bartender.
Oh my God.
Bonkers how gay she was in that season. Her name was Ronnie.
Stop.
Shut up.
I can't make this stuff up. It was the gayest I've ever seen her. And
okay, so what you're saying is like,
1.
I just need to skip to the last season and just don't watch anything else?
Yeah.
Because it seems very gay. I like too that it like that's basically a mirror. Like the Robin and Alice is like a mirror of Snow White and Prince Charming from the first season, right?
Yeah,
Where, like,
she even gets caught in a trap and Robin saves her from the trap. So she's like, oh, this is how my grandparents met. She says it.
That's really cute. All right, God
Sorry,
damn you, Once Upon a
I
Time.
just need to take a minute while we talk about like how insane this show is and how I have no idea what we're talking about at any point. So I just clicked on one thing on the like fandom Wikipedia page for Once Upon a Time, and there's a character. I think it's on Henry's page. So on Henry's page, there's a section called History, and the history is broken into. I'm just going to read them out real quick. During first curse, after first curse, before second curse, during second curse, after second curse, during alternate reality, before third curse, after third curse, during fourth curse, after fourth curse, during fifth curse, after fifth curse, and after sixth curse. So, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Genuinely crazy.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Great show.
Just a little aside here.
And Kayleen, you managed to
Love it.
stay on top of all of it. I'm impressed.
Yeah, very, very impressive.
I mean, the seventh one gets all the way bonkers because they add in the fact that there are different people in different realms that are the same people. Like Henry has this whole speech. Also, we get adult Henry, which should be illegal. But
wait, is it actually the kid grown up, or they have a new
No,
actor?
it's like
it's a different actor.
Okay.
Cast a full-grown adult man to
But
play
they did
tiny
have
baby
Henry as an
As,
adult,
like, a teen,
basically.
right?
They just
They had
swapped
him
the
as like a
actor.
graduating high school, going off into the universe thing, and then he goes off into these alternate realms as the author on a motorcycle, and then falls in love with Cinderella, but Cinderella in a different timeline. So she's like Latina, and then they talk about how there's like a black Snow White and an Asian Snow White, like how there's different people playing all the same parts in different realities. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot, you guys. That's a lot to wrap your head around right now.
What a show. Before we wrap up our gay section of everything, is there anything else that we have missed about their... I feel like there's just like a lot of sexual tension between them. Like there's no like specific thing. It's just like the chemistry between these two characters is just palpable. And I think this is sort of to do with magic, but there's like this moment where she's like, you have to get like pissed off. Regina's like, you have to get like angry or turn dark to like have your magic happen. And Emma's like, no, I don't want to do that. And Regina like pisses her off, and then they're like fighting. And then she's like, oh, I smell something. Smoke. Like she like made her like, she's like, oh, I made you magic. Sorry. And it's like literally like a literal spark that was created between the two of them fighting.
I have one last point, Ellie, only because I want to piggyback off of the point you made earlier with the quote about, like, I accept all parts of myself. But I just feel like we also have to mention the very thinly veiled metaphor of, like, I get that Lana Parrilla was everyone's gay awakening, but can we also talk about, like, Regina's gay awakening of being like, I exist frozen in time where I like just don't really understand my true self until this like super hot woman shows up at my door and is like, I'm actually the other mother to your son. And then suddenly everything makes sense and the clock starts moving again, and like gay story. That's it.
I mean, it's such a gay, because, you know, in relationships and especially queer relationships, we have to challenge each other. And nobody was challenging Regina until Emma came along.
Yes.
You know,
I like
and finally Regina started to make compromises and sacrifices and realize that they actually like want the same thing and we're raising the same child. And I mean, it sounds...
And their whole
it's
little
just
magical gay world came alive when Emma showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And
true.
Yeah. And Regina slowly but surely learned to like put love over hate and be like a nice individual. And I don't know if you guys have seen many people before and after coming out of the closet, but I was a huge bitch before I was out of the closet, and I didn't even know. Like, you just don't know. You have like a little chip on your shoulder. Then you come out of the closet and you're accepted, and things are nice and turning out to be the way that makes sense to your brain. You're like in line with what you think should happen, and you're a nicer human being.
100%. It's like Santana on Glee. That was her whole thing.
It was her whole thing.
R.I.P. But like Santana on Glee, her whole thing was
so true.
I'm so mean, and now I realize why.
Yeah.
You know?
And by the end of that show, Lana Priya's character, in whichever form, was such a nice human being. It was always like, oh, Regina, you lost your ability to kick ass. And she could still kick ass, but she wasn't going to kill anybody. She wasn't going to cross any lines or crush any hearts. She was like choosing love
Except
over
for
hate.
Lily's. Let's not forget Lily's heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lily's heart permanently.
Yeah. And another thing I loved about Regina's storyline of like, you know, being, you know, evil and discovering that she could be kind and good is that they showed you her past and so much trauma that she endured. And it's like, that's also a queer experience, you know, having to go through trauma and like that, you know, Kayleen, as you said, sort of making you a bitch, and then you can come out of that a better person. So I'm like, that's kind of queer.
Yeah, the first season when we were watching it, my wife was like, I do not like Regina. Why do you like Regina? And I was like, well, first of all, she's hot, but second of all, you'll understand soon. And it was like they did her backstory and later, and I was like, now do you get it? She was like, still no, not justified. I was like, you will. And by the end, she was like, Regina.
Yeah, I think Regina is actually one of the best written characters I've ever seen on television.
Beautiful character arc.
You hate her, but you're rooting for her and you really understand her. At least I did.
We've talked a lot about Regina, but I want to talk a little bit about Emma before we wrap up, because she also, I feel like, has a similar yet different timeline. But like, she went through a lot of trauma as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then there's like this moment, and I think this is why her and Regina get each other so much. There's a moment where they're like in this cave or something. I don't even know. But but Emma's talking to Regina and she's like, I love my family. Like, I love my parents and I love my son. But like, nobody gets me like you do. And she said, you know, we've gone through a lot. And like, but I think that makes us like special and unique. And I'm like, these are all like thinly veiled. We're both gay and I get it. Like, she's just having this moment with her where she's like, you get me and I get you because we're both gay. And like, we've both been through some shit. So I feel like that's also like, they recognize it in the show itself. Like, both of these characters recognize something special in each other.
Yeah. And it's like, that does remind me of Ruby's storyline too. Season 5, like Ruby literally is like, I have to leave because something's missing. Like, I'm missing my pack. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't fit quite in here. And what she ends up finding, you know, she goes to that other world and she's like, I thought I was looking for a pack, but I realized I was just looking for you, you know, to Dorothy. And I'm like, you know, we didn't get it with Regina and Emma, but at least we got it with them. So I feel like you do have to take the little wins, you know.
For sure.
But hashtag relatable gay content, you know, to be like, I feel like I'm missing something. What is it? Other gay people. That's it. No one understands me here. What a mood. We all get it.
Big mood.
Oh, yeah. Queer community is everything to me. Like, almost all my friends are queer and it's so important.
Yep.
But yeah, Emma's just really gay. She just seems so gay, you know?
Yeah, she has that moment when she's like a kid, when she runs away from her foster home and she meets that other like young girl, and the girl's like, we can hide out in this summer home, and they clearly fall in love. They're like, we're going to be bonded forever, like immediately, like little gay babies bonding, trauma bonding right away. And then the other girl lied to Emma about where the place was, and she was so hurt by it that she was like, never speak to me again. And it was like a huge, huge thing in her life that she talks about as an adult on how traumatic that was. And I think that that's very, very gay to get so close when you have that close friend you make when you're a kid. And you're like, why do I feel so strongly about my friend here? It's because you're in love.
Doesn't she also like relate that to Regina? Like she says like, oh, like I'm not going to do the same thing I did with that girl with Regina or something like that.
Yeah, it was like a trust thing that she was like, I can't trust people because I've been burned before.
Gay mood. Gay mood.
Yes.
I think you're totally right with what you just said, Kayleen, that she just is gay. She just exudes gay in this show. And again, I have not watched the show. Every clip I have ever seen, every like GIF, every clip of it, like every scene I've seen, and I have watched her do other stuff, right? Like this is not just something where it's like, oh, this actress just like comes across as gay. Like I watched Jennifer Morrison on House. Like that's where I first saw her, and even there, like she was a strong, smart, competent woman, like didn't play gay to me in that show. This show, man, every time, like the way she stands, the way she walks, the way she carries herself, the way she, like, it is so gay. What is so gay about it? It's so gay.
Does anyone have any insight on that? It's like, did they bring in a lesbian and like have her walk and be like, Jennifer, walk like that?
Do
That's how
that.
we want your character to look.
And also when Jennifer has to wear, when she has to wear a dress, when she's in like the alternate timeline and she's like frolicking and humming and she's wearing that dress and it's so weird. And Regina sees it and is like, what's going on? Why is she frolicking and wearing a dress? She's like, you gotta snap out of it, girl. This is insane.
She's like, I brought your jacket.
It reminds me of the time, Kayleen, that I got dolled up in Femme for a TikTok and I FaceTimed you, Kayleen, just to be funny. And you were like, what's wrong?
What's going on?
Who are you?
What's happening?
Who has Lily's phone?
It needs to stop.
It looks literally cuckoo bananas. You look hot as Femme, but like it looks so wrong.
I agree.
So wrong.
That's why it's funny.
But that's why it's so funny to me that like they wrote this character and like someone had to be directing this show. Like what was the direction that was given if it was not like, please exude like waves of gay energy? Like because I don't get it. I don't know why it just comes across as so gay. And I don't know if it's just something about, because she's like a bail bonds person or something, right? Like
right.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know if they were just trying super hard to lean into this, like, you're a little rougher and a little, you're just hunting people down and catching them and bringing them back. And I don't know what it is that somehow that persona that they tried to create just reads
100%.
gay. It is just gay. I don't know why, and it's so funny that every scene I've ever seen, and maybe that's what it is. There's this combination where you have Lana Priya playing this like, let me put my mouth as close as possible to your mouth for no reason, and then you have Jennifer Morrison standing there being like, let me be as gay as humanly possible right now, and that combination, boy, it does not read as like a super heterosexual relationship in your show of these two women raising their son together. I don't know what to tell you.
No.
It's not straight.
It's not.
It's like it's possible to come across as straight and badass.
Yes.
It's like,
it's not this.
Because it seems like they just wanted her to come off as badass, right? Like maybe a little rough around the edges. But I feel like they're not mutually exclusive. Is that the right word for it? Like, I feel like you don't have to be both, but in this case, it is both.
It's definitely both. Yeah. I mean, I think we can all agree. Swanqueen should have been gay.
Should have been
so gay. It's honestly tragedy that it was not. It's really sad.
Well,
but we have
there are pages
many
and pages and pages of fanfics.
So many.
You know what, too, though? When you consider the progress that this show made, like having an actual queer storyline at the end, I feel like if this show had started season 1 today, it probably would have been gay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just dream that a show like this is being made right now and it is gonna be gay.
Yes. We're here for it.
I would like to believe that.
Please.
Wow, Ellie, if only someone was working on like a super like high fantasy.
Actually, you are correct. We are working on something like that right now.
If only somebody had something like that.
We are. You'll see. It's coming out.
Just saying.
All right, that brings us to our Q and Gay. Question number 1. What was the gayest Swanqueen moment? A, the almost kiss. B, doing magic together. C, co-parenting their child. Or D, saving each other's lives.
Saving each other's lives.
Very gay.
What do you think, Lily?
I feel like it's co-parenting their child.
Mm.
That's really gay. And the amount of times where you see the close-up shot of Henry getting back to his mom's and his mom's holding him back. I'm like, yes,
so
that is gay. Whether it's divorced gay, like whether they're not together maybe, but that's gay.
Agreed.
Okay, question 2. Do you ever bring your platonic friend / enemy lunch with 2 root beers and her favorite kale salad and pretend you're not dating? A, yes. B, no. Or C, no, we're clearly dating. Lily, we'll kick this one to you first.
No, we're clearly dating. Clearly dating.
What do you think, Kayleen?
I like to make people food, so I would probably do it, but I'm a very, very nice friend. I go over the top for no reason.
But if it was for a friend, maybe you would have asked them what they want rather than just know what they want and brought it to them as a surprise.
No, that's definitely true. If I'm deciding what the food is and bringing it, it's definitely for my wife.
There you go.
So.
We got our answer.
There
the real answer, yeah.
All right, question number 3. Are you more of a Regina or Emma? Kayleen?
I'm a big Regina.
Oh, yeah. You're
big
definitely
Regina
a Regina.
energy.
Yeah.
I would say I'm more of an Emma. I mean, I think that I am have a more hopeful outlook on life and that I also push a lot of feelings down. So we got
there
that.
You go.
I love that for you.
Double whammy.
I feel like I want to add a secret option C that's Ronnie because I didn't know Ronnie existed, but like I feel like that should be in here.
Yes,
I think
Ronnie.
I'm still a Regina.
I'm an Emma because I'm in love with Regina.
There you go.
Fair enough. I like it.
You and me, Will.
Okay. Question 4. This one requires a little bit of like visualization exercises. Okay. Which of Emma's leather jackets is the best? Out of A, the red jacket, B, just a classic black leather jacket, or C, the brown leather jacket?
I mean, the red leather jacket is the most iconic.
So true.
For her.
So true.
For sure.
Yeah, the red is a classic. Red is also the gayest color, I would argue. So.
Why is that?
Red is just
Do you have
like
a ranking?
gay.
Do you have a full ranking of all of them?
Yeah, what's
A
the
ranking
least
of all
gay
the colors.
color?
Red is the first color of the rainbow. And it is just like fiery and cool. You know what I mean? It's like a good vibe.
Yeah.
What's the least
And
gay?
also Ruby is Red Riding Hood.
Oh my god, and red is Regina's color with the red apple and all
The
of her
red
like red
lipstick.
accents and her stuff. Red is like her color. She says it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's right.
Big time.
Also, for those of you listening who can't see Kayleen also is a redhead.
Mm-hmm. True.
The gayest color.
The gayest color. All right. Question number 5. Where do you stand on Swanqueen fan fiction? A, haven't read any. B, have read some. C, it's my top ship. Or D, I've written my own.
I haven't read any. I'm terrible.
Any?
Okay.
I just
Kayleen.
I just watch videos.
I wasn't like big on fanfic. I did like follow a bunch of role-playing accounts though when I was on Twitter that would like do their own kind of fanfic back and forth. So I thought it was fun to see what they were doing, like live fanficking back and forth. That was funny and fun. But I have definitely...
So like cosplaying fan fiction?
Yeah. That was basically what it was. But I definitely have read some fanfics. There was one where Emma was like in the hospital and Regina was like visiting her a bunch. And I remember getting deep into that because there were like 16 of them. And I read all 16 and then I was like, and that's good for me. I'll leave it there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My biggest period of reading fanfic was during Supergirl, mostly like Alex and Maggie and Supercorp, of course. So.
Dude, there's some great Supergirl fan fiction out there. And I'm saying that not only because our writer for our next musical keeps sending me fan fiction, and I'm like, God damn it. Stop this. I have a job.
It's like really raunchy too.
At Lexicon a few years ago, I was at a panel and somebody like, you know, on the panel introduced themselves and they're like, oh, and I'm at whatever their name was on AO3. And I was like, I literally gasped out loud and everyone looked at me. I was like, I love you. We got a picture together afterwards because I read all of their stuff.
I love that.
Okay, so what we're saying, listeners, is send us all your top Swanqueen fic recommendations. We're ready for them. We're ready.
Yeah.
That's all.
I'm
Lily's
ready.
gonna
I
get
could dive
the
back
best
in.
Swanqueen fix.
Yeah.
Kayleen, you're like fresh off the rewatch. You're a prime position for some good like fanfiction.
I am, and I didn't even read any Ronnie fan fiction at all, and it's one of her hottest forms. So
send us the Ronnie fanfic. This is specific request from me to you, listeners.
I'm literally gonna like
message
message Kayleen tomorrow. I'm like, so I got through all of season 7 tonight. Love Ronnie.
Okay, I'm just looking up images. Shut up!
And with the bandana, do you see? Me? With the like bandana and the jacket?
Don't.
Deeply gay.
Okay, for those of you listening, yes, I just looked up Ronnie Once Upon a Time images.
We're gonna
wow, there's like a
really
black the black, you know, like kind of muscle tank.
Oh my god, you know who would wear this outfit?
Sure.
My girlfriend.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god, she literally wears this.
All of
with
the tank tops, like Regina doesn't show her arms very much the rest of the show.
Yes.
And I saw her arms like the first episode and I went, what?
Wait, you should totally do a Regina and Emma costume.
Incredible. Oh, we already planned on it. We were talking about it yesterday. Oh yeah.
So good. All right, we could talk about how gay this ship is all night long, but it is time for us to say goodbye. So thank you, Lily and Kayleen, so much. Let everyone know where they can find you online. So what's your social media? And if you have anything big coming up.
Yeah, I'm Lily Brown. My Instagram and TikTok and Twitter are Lily27sings with 2 L's. Lilly 27 sings. And that's where you can find me. Also, Kayleen and I run Queer Field Day along with Adrienne, her wife, and like a few other people. So our Instagram is Queer Field Day, and also our TikTok, Queer Field Day.
Awesome. What about you, Kayleen?
Yes. You can find me on Instagram at Kayleen Casey, and like probably on TikTok at Kayleen Casey, but I don't really TikTok. So Instagram.
Nice.
And we have some upcoming events not set in stone yet, but we're working on them. We want to do like a queer takeover at an ice skating rink. We want to do like a queer axe throwing night, and call it Meet Your Next Axe Girlfriend.
Amazing.
With speed dating.
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully by the time you release this podcast, we'll have those ready, and you can find out all about them on Queer Field Day Instagram.
Cool. And that's all in LA, correct?
Yes, that's all in LA.
So if anyone's listening and they're in LA,
and
they can go.
Queer Field Day is just like a park event with games and ways to meet friends and
We're
find
hoping
queer
to
community.
fundraise enough money soon that we can take this party on the road, though, and go to some other states and do Queer Field Days there. So if you want to donate to the cause, our Venmo information is in our bio on Queer Field Day. And if you want to come out and support, that is the best way to help us get around other places.
And let us know where you want us to go.
Start in the Bay Area. It's not that far. Come on.
Where do you live?
We're making plans.
I'm out in the East Bay.
San Francisco area.
East-
Like
Oh,
Oakland.
San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
San Francisco would be like first on the list.
For
Everybody's asking for it.
Yeah. Get up here. Come on.
Yeah.
It's an easy jaunt.
Wait, can I say one more thing for fun? So I make these TikToks where I like ask queer people questions, like something random, to see if they don't know the answer, they can just make it up. And so one of my questions was to my gay guy friend. I was like, Jonathan, what is Swanqueen? And he's like, somebody with a sexy neck. And it's so funny because all of the comments on that TikTok are like, Swanqueen, no, my favorite. Like,
That's so funny.
it's so funny.
Someone
Yeah.
with a queen with a sexy neck.
And people are like, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yes.
They
I
do
mean,
have sexy
correct. Yes. That's amazing. Thank you so much. It has been so much fun talking all of the gay things with you.
Thank you guys.
Love it.
Yay.
It's dream come true talking about gay stuff.
For sure.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 we're gay.
We love hearing from all of you, and we love continuing to build this community, so we just like to shout out some of our favorite things every episode. And this week, we have to shout out one of our listeners, one of our patrons. Some of you may have seen on Twitter, Silver Rose Wolf tweeting their journey experiencing the joy of the fic that I mentioned in our Devil Wears Prada episode, Truth and Measure. So listen, if any of the rest of you decided to, buckle up and go on that ride as well, tell us all about it. We love hearing about it. We hope you enjoyed the story. That's all.
And Godspeed, good lesbians.
Godspeed. Go with God. Indeed. Speaking of, we'd also like to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Jess Klaus,
Tanya Ferguson,
Jacqueline Rosacino,
Sarah and Julia,
Danny Gunluck Tamora,
Brittany Ray,
Alana Rosen,
Lizette Stye,
Stacy,
Adi Benitez,
Fiona W.,
Whitney Lennon,
Jennifer Suhio,
and our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Leah Henley,
Liz Chen,
Julia Gonzalez,
and Ashley White. Thank you, as always, to all of our patrons. We just could not continue making this podcast without all of your support, and also you're all delightful people, so what a joy for us.
Remember, you can find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can send us an email at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
Or you can check out our website at letshangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use to listen to podcasts, make sure that you subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes as soon as they go up every week.
Also, make sure you subscribe to the Flame RSS feed on any podcasting app to listen to The Flame, and eventually you'll be able to listen to our next musical on that RSS feed.
We also have videos going up on our YouTube channel, so make sure that you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch those.
If you want to support the podcast, the easiest way is to rate and review us on iTunes. We love hearing what you have to say, and the more reviews we have, the more people find this beautiful show.
If you want to support us financially, the best place to do that is at our Patreon. You can find it at bit.ly/lespatreon. You get so much fun stuff like access to our Discord chat. You get to join our Les Centrals viewing parties and perks from our Patreon campaign right now, like our upcoming patron-only Q&A episode, which we are going to be hosting on Zoom live for our patrons to join us. So again, don't miss out, bit.ly/lespatreon.
If you want to help support our musicals, you can also join the Flame Patreon at bit.ly/theflamepatreon to hear more updates about our new musical and getting the flame on stage.
If you want to buy our merch, you can find all of our designs at our TeePublic store at bit.ly/lesshop. You can get them on mugs, on t-shirts, on tank tops, on tote bags, on masks, on all sorts of good stuff. We will have new designs going up as we get some more things kicking off this year, so make sure that you watch our store.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me at Ellie Brigida on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee. And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Buffet brawlers, glory holes gone wrong, cannibalistic castration cabins, public poopers? These are just a few of the crazy topics you'll hear covered on Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the pettiest podcast around. Whether you need a break from all that murdery true crime stuff, or just enjoy hearing hilarious stories told in a unique way, I got what you need. I'm Leroy Luna, your fearless host/chauffeur. So come hop in my minivan and let's go for a ride. I promise you probably won't be disappointed. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically everywhere you consume podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of the month, baby!